So we are live now, you're saying, right? And what do you want me to do, sir?
Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cuts Academy, JC, Crown Cuts Academy, Bristol, and Craig's Crown Cuts downtown Johnson City. Spreading love the JC way. The only way we know how to do it is the Crown Cuts way. And with my co-host himself.
Am I Fields? Am I your barber?
From where?
Marion, Virginia.
Where is that?
It's on the tip of Virginia, right by Bristol, about 30 minutes from Bristol.
Where some of the best drivers are in the country, you said.
No, we all right. We got a few potholes. We keep it clean.
Today we have a banging episode for you today. Before I introduce my guests, I'm going to talk about the topic, professional image. I'll let my guests introduce themselves, and we're going to go into it a little heavy. But, Barber College Success, for the casual observer out there who wants to know how to get into barber school, what does barber school look like? The success of barber school. How can you be successful as an individual? What to do, what to expect, how to express yourself, how to meet people, how to network. All types of information and jewels we drop for you on Barber College Success. Check us out. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, any major platform out there, we're on it. But you know what? I've talked enough. I'll let my guests introduce themselves. Mr. Late himself.
What's going on? My name is Nicholas Liu. I go by Exclusive Cuts. Originally from Virginia Beach, but I live in Kingsport, and I go to Crown Cuts Academy of Bristol, baby.
Let's go.
The Crown Cut, like Ohio State.
Good afternoon. Billy Young from White Plains, New York. I currently reside in the Tri-Cities I just got my hours at Crown Cuts. Got to get my license, and that's what I'm working on.
Yes, sir. Himself in person.
And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Norman, and of all places, I was born and raised in Jonesboro.
Hey, that's a good thing.
But that's a very good thing. But I had the chance to get out into the world. I've traveled a little bit, and I'll touch on a couple of things. Been to Brazil, China, South Africa a couple of times. I describe myself as a guy who is country, city, country. I'm probably more country than I am city, but I've been around for a minute. I'm retired. So I was introduced to Crown Cuts a number of years ago because I'm always looking for that perfect haircut. And Craig knows that.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Went to him a couple of times. He did good. My wife said it was okay, so I've been a Crown Cuts customer ever since. So welcome. Excuse me. Pleased to be here.
And what comes to my mind, that song, I don't know who sang that song, Been Around the World, and I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but
I'm going to look it up later.
Man, that's a good song. When you said that note, that's what came to mind.
Okay.
But as it is, we're going to get on this topic today about professional image and what it means for the industry, what it means for your brand, what it means for you. I think it's a really big topic. I remember that time we had the conversation with that student, and M.I. got so upset. M.I. wanted to shake him upside down because he was not getting the message. And I was like, M.I., it's okay. It's okay, M.I., it's okay.
You want the best for him.
Oh, of course. I mean, when you are a teacher, a professor, an instructor, I think students don't realize how much you pour into them until years later. So we're going to talk about this topic.
It's an investment, right? Not a sacrifice.
It is. See, you're starting to learn, my guy.
I'm learning.
You got it down pat. We don't use negative terms. We use positive terms. So we cut out the word sacrifice and turn that into an investment. It's the same thing. They parallel each other. But it's just investment, you get a return. A sacrifice just seems like you have something on your shoulders, you can't get it off. So we use the term investment.
Amen.
So professional image. What comes to your mind when you hear professional image? What comes to your mind?
I think about Craig Charles coming into the school on a Tuesday with his tie, and he got this cashmere sweater on, Armani shoes, all that. So now personal image is just how you carry yourself. You ain't got to have the best clothes. I remember my dad told me back in the day, this guy old man went to church with, he said he wore the same suit every time he went to church, but every time he went to church, that suit was clean and he looked good. So just, present yourself with whatever you got the best you can.
Yes, sir.
That's always the case, and I think bringing your whole self to bear in your shop. I look for that guy that, or it makes me feel most comfortable with a big smile, welcoming, nicely dressed. My right now I live outside of Detroit, so my barber, his shop is clean, and when I see him, he's sharp rather. And this guy is, I'd say he's in his mid 50s, but he is fit.
Mm.
I mean, his biceps, everything, and he's always neatly dressed, and it's just comfortable. So you're right; it's a complete package that one brings.
Well, my mom and grandma taught me that first impression is always an everlasting impression. So, being I'm from New York and it's a fashion capital, they seem to get fresh or lit every day, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? No matter what they do. So it's very rare that you see a bum on the street unless it's a bum on the street. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I always try to, at least present myself, no matter if it's a suit and tie, hoodie, sweat, keep it clean and keep it presentable. You know, when nah, I can't talk to him. He's a mess. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people look at people off the strength and get a first vibe, I want to say, kind of energy if they're not on it. Just to look at people a certain way. So you definitely want to present yourself the best you know how. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Don't just come to school or work every day looking crazy. I had an instant the other day, my nephew, his birthday, his friends stay home from school with him for we want to go to the mall for my nephew is getting fresh. And his friends like, I'm not going to the mall. Like, why? I said, look at me. So you went to school like that though. You know what I'm saying? What's more important? You like, oh, the mall. I'm like, you got it all backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
right.
definitely first impression, dress to impress, y'all.
So what do you think, Nick?
Uh, I'm a firm believer that image is everything.
Right.
You are what you present to a big degree. Now, you attract as well what you put out. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like, I'm extremely casual today, but I wouldn't even approach somebody, hopping out of a Maybach or something right now in a three-piece suit because I look the way I look. You know what I mean? I'm in sweats, and I definitely have the speech to talk to anybody, but it's still a matter of presentation. And I have pride in how I look and how I present myself to people because I want them to look at me in the same light. So I feel it's definitely important how you present yourself. Image is everything, and you will ultimately it's a matter of reflection too. You put it out. If you want to be a millionaire, you got to start acting, dressing, and putting yourself out as that way, like-minded individuals, and they see it. They see it's the first thing. Perception is everything
Well,
to a lot of people.
one of the things that I'm hearing is different cues. Everybody had different cues. I think it's something that you have to incorporate in your life every day and not wait for an impression when you just going to get into speak to someone who's in a Maybach or prepare yourself to speak to the president. I think professional image is something that you have to balance yourself with every day. It begins with your health. It begins with rest. It begins. Everybody can't afford the most expensive clothes, the most expensive shoes, but everybody can afford something that can fit them to be presentable every day. And we shouldn't just twist it around and make it seem like you have to have this certain amount of money, certain amount of income to be professional, because we all can do it in our own special
Oh,
way. It's
absolutely.
something that you have to practice and pride on every day.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head, Craig. First of all, the product that you're presenting to the world is our outstanding haircuts
Right.
and grooming. So you have to walk in well groomed, a great haircut, great shave, so on and so forth. And when I see that, then I know I'm in the right place.
Right. And one thing I tend to, an example I give my students at times, because this is a, a cosmetology forum, barber and forum, nails, aesthetics, wherever it may be, that forum right there. I give my students this perception. I was like, close your eyes for like 10 seconds. And You walking in to get a service, if it's nails, cosmetology, barbering, aesthetics, and you see two people walking in. One person walking with a briefcase, just looking sharp. Um, he unfolds his clippers. They're all wrapped around in some velvet cloth, and he lay them out neatly on his station. And another person just casually come in, whatever, and they just drop their clippers down. In your mind as a consumer, who do you want to spend your money with?
The dudes just fly.
And that's how we have to think of ourselves, because the the perception is there for us every day. The role model is there for us to see every day how people are doing it. So if you want to be successful, you have to ask that person or ask the people who are doing it, what does it take? What do they do to be successful? And it's just that simple.
I
It's
think
not.
personal. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Go ahead.
No, I think personal image is not only what you're wearing or how you look, but how you carry yourself as well. So if you come in, if I want somebody to come in here, I want them to be confident. I want to be able
Of
to.
course.
Confidence is able. That's the one thing like about this job is you have to have supreme confidence, whether it be with the client or dealing with other barbers. You have to be confident in what you do, or else nobody's going to cut your hair. Because I remember when I first started off, I go to people, like, so sorry, excuse me, about uh, would you mind if I cut your hair?
No.
Nah, I'm good. I heard that for about 8 months. And then it turned into like, hey, yo, you're next. So, but yeah, it's a lot about your body language too, as much as it is how you look.
So what does life skills have to do with professional image?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say those life skills about being positive. Number one, some of my earliest experiences as a kid, 5, 6, 7 years old, going to the barbershop, uh, it was always positive because the barbers were. I looked at them in a very positive way. They were dressed nicely. They were clean. They had conversation, and they talked about the right kinds of things. I'm going to say I got the best education in the barbershop as a young kid. I'm not talking about, and the barber managed that conversation. So it was positive. So I guess I'd add to it. It's about the environment that you bring, and then I would see mothers bringing their kids in, and mothers want to be comfortable.
Yes.
So again, you got to be polished and on point. So I'm in agreement with you.
Because you have to set an example for people to patronize you and want to spend money with you, do business with you again.
Yeah.
And the first impression is major. What do you think, Billy?
Life skills plays a major part because interact with people all day long. Women, kids, all age groups. So if you don't know how to talk or be a people person, then I don't think you're gonna like barbering. You know what I'm saying? You have to incorporate concern, support. The kid is going. I get the craziest kids in the chair, and Craig always gives me the kids. Go, Billy got him kicking, screaming. But if you don't know how to interact with kids, you go, I'm out of here. This is not for me.
Billy, that's because he has confidence in you, man.
Big fact. He invested in me a lot.
That's it.
I mean, life skills apply to everything. It's pretty much self-explanatory. Life skills, you know what I mean? You live in life, you learn skills, you learn how to deal with people, how to deal with skills through experience. Um, and that's pretty much what you bring to the table, and it should correlate directly with, professionalism and look and that appearance. And yeah.
And I'll piggyback on what you said about the kids. You are taught so much when you have kids in your chair. And for all the barbers out there who refuse to do kids, because there's a lot of barbers out there right now who say, I'm not cutting kids. But what kids taught me how to do was how to be patient, how to be able to have a conversation, and how to get them focused on their haircut. Because if you can do that, there's some people adults, whose behaviors are worse than kids. So if you can deal with kids, you on your way to give someone who maybe not who you might not be able to relate to, you'll be able to find a common ground. Because you can find a common ground with a kid, you can find a common ground with anyone.
Yeah.
And being a master barber, Go ahead, Lou.
No, I was,
Being a master barber teaches you those so many different types of skills. And for me, that was one of the lessons I learned in the barbershop when I was cutting. Older man, Mr. Steele would always give me the kids. And I was wondering, why would he give me the kids? And it was just a learning process, how to slow it down, not to be too fast, because you have to be delicate with kids. And all those are principles that you are building while you're working on kids that can apply for when the time comes. Because I was new at this when he gave it to me. And you was new at that when I gave you all the kids. You're learning and you're applying principles and skills that you're going to use to carry you on throughout your career.
And I think added to that, kids, you really have to listen. You can't talk or overtalk kids, which builds that skill for your other clients because people are coming in. They're sad. They've lost a loved one. They're happy. Something great happened to them. Any number of states of mind. And a lot of times they don't want to hear your chatter. They just want to be able to talk, kind of thing. So
And,
you got
and
to be
that's when you have
empathetic.
to really be able to maintain your integrity
Yeah.
and your professional image because what you might say could affect that return customer.
yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
So you have to really be prepared and to give as well as receive when a client comes in who may be experiencing a death, experiencing a loss, or having something at home going on that
Hmm.
you might not know of. Your professional image at all times will help you carry on through that haircut. And so that's why when we're taking it back to the school setting now, when students come in, I try to do different things to bring it out of them. That that not being able to carry on a viable conversation, not being able to you want to cut, but you don't want to do certain things. And one of the key things we try to strive on, the first thing is how to keep your chin up, how to look someone's in the eye, how to have a proper consultation, because all through the consultation, which is the most important part of the haircut, you exemplifying professional image through the, the whole interaction.
Hmm.
Your chin up. Hey, how you doing? My name is Craig. How can I service you?
Hmm.
Being able to talk to that person, that's part of your professional image too. Opening up with a smile, letting them know that you're welcoming, that you're
Hmm.
open. All of that is part of professional image.
I think I want to touch on this now, or I may forget it later on, but that smile is critical. So, one of your best professional friends should be a dentist.
Right.
You should be seeing that dentist every 6 months, getting in and polish. And a lot of times we don't take care of our teeth in the way we should, but
Right.
that's a big jewel that you have.
That's important. That's valuable. I see my dentist twice a year.
Whether it's needed or not, right?
Yeah. I mean, let's go. Come on. And they send me a little notification. It's
And
time. I was like, yeah, I'm ready.
I wanted to touch a little bit more on that life skills thing. Just to, like you said, kids. I got life skills. I got 7 kids.
Mm.
I got experience, and all of them have different personalities. So I'm very good with kids. I get all the kids cuts too, big dog. So that's because the kids rock with me. You know what I mean? And I can make them feel comfortable. And I turn the haircut experience into a good experience instead of a traumatizing experience.
Right.
That's one. And then another life skill. I've been in the restaurant business for the past 10 years. I manage a restaurant at this point, so I know a lot about customer relations and customer interactions, and even mad customers, how to handle or resolve those issues and things like that. And those are life skills that I've acquired through, and it goes on and on and on. And now I'm trying to apply all that to
and,
the barbering
and,
profession.
and a critical thing that you just said, how to deal with disputes. Maintain a professional image. More often than not, you will always win in a dispute or a disagreement if you maintain your professional self.
I'm sorry. I like listening to people. When you said that, I thought about a couple of times where I've had to deal with people coming to shop acting crazy, and I just there's a lot of times where just saying nothing was the best thing to say. So I just thought of a situation where a dude ran in here and he was cussing and just raising Cain. He cussing for everybody, and it was like he wanted me to answer with an altercation, and I was just like, "Have a nice day." He
I mean,
couldn't do
but
nothing.
that's being professional.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's being professional. I mean, you kept this short and precise. Have a nice day. I mean, what else can he say?
Hmm.
He is all belligerent and out of order and out of out of whack, and you just maintain your professional integrity and say, "Have a nice day" with a smile.
And I like that so far everybody's talked about different types, completely different, like the same professional image, but in different ways. Like, even just teeth or dealing with kids or and stuff like that, working in the restaurant business. And I think that's really cool. Everybody's giving a different perspective throughout this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you come into this industry, you don't know what you don't know. And the key in this industry is to make money. Number one, it's your job. But in order to make some money, there's some prerequisites that you'll need to apply to get there. And it's going to come. If you do your job well, you hone your skills in school. You have something to say, Lou? Oh, it's going to come. Go ahead, Norm.
No, I was going to say the barber is an important figure and personality in the community. When I think about the community, obviously, I think about the home, the family, the school, the church, and the barber is right there in that mix because you're going to be seeing all those kids and they're bringing their problems and issues in there. But by the same token, I think what you have an opportunity to do is to keep them on a good moral path.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, with some light guidance. I like that one phrase of disarming. Have a nice day. In other words, everything had to calm down right then and there. So, but yeah, I do see the barber as being a pinnacle, a significant part of the community, and you'll get recognized for that. You'll get
Yes.
recognized for that in a lot of ways.
And one of the key things that was mentioned too, the attitude. Your attitude dictates everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, we have a sign in barbering that says, choose one. Attitude is everything. Choose one. And it's that simple. Choose one. And again, just being strong and personal, be like, hey, have a nice day. You wasn't belligerent. You said, have a nice day. That kind of,
That's like goodbye, but ain't nothing happening.
right.
Yeah,
And still being, and still being respectful.
Yeah, it's disarming. Yeah.
The importance of professional image to me, it's something that I've kind of taken heavily, and I think sometimes it starts at home. And I think my parents kind of pushed that on me. So I realized when I have a business, one of the key things for me is always start someone with a handshake and a smile, or a fist bump now during COVID-19 and a smile, or whatever it is, a wave. But people need to know that you are welcoming. If people don't see that you're welcoming, they're not going to patronize you. So I think that's an important thing, because when you're exactly. So when you're welcoming, it makes the transition smooth and easy. Because like we all know, everyone in this daily life, something happens, something is going on, and we don't know what it is sometimes when we first meet someone. So the best form of action is to have your attitude in check especially when you're servicing people.
Oh yeah.
In the service industry that we do.
And then you make it. I mean, I worked around a barber before that. His problems were your problems. Welcome to my chair. Here's what's going on in my life. You need to feel this, so I could. That's how he dealt with things, and you could just feel the environment change, man, and just made it a tough place to work and tough place to be around. Made him tough person to be around. Like you didn't want to be around him.
I mean, for sure. I mean, but couple of things that's affected when you have a bad attitude and you don't have a professional image: your income, your reputation, and retention of clients.
Mm-hmm.
And all those things are what makes this industry for us so lovable, so great.
It makes you successful.
Yeah, if our income goes down, we're in trouble. If our reputation takes a hit, we're in trouble. If we can't retain clients, we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So those things are even more in a manner of pointing you in the right direction to look at yourself in the mirror when you see things are not working.
Definitely, because at the end of the day, as we sit in here, it's all different walks of life. Barbering leads to a different kind of networking. You know what I'm saying? You never know who you come across, who kid hair you cutting, or somebody just walk in, oh, I need you to pick him up. I cut the chief of police hair one day, so, it was strange, but it was a good experience for us. The network is crazy with barbering. For if your attitude stinks, no, not only are you not going to get a haircut, but if you're looking for a car part or a video game for your son or something that somebody can help you with, nobody's going to help you because
You
your
building
attitude stinks.
relationships.
And you know,
If you cease to build relationships, you can't move forward.
if I didn't have this relationship with Craig, I wouldn't be moving forward. Big facts.
I mean, you'd be moving forward, but in a
No,
different way.
listen.
I feel
You
the
can
same
say-
way he
You can
feels.
say what you want, brother. You can say what you want. I'm here on TV. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
For
You're welcome.
investing in me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's
But
what it's about.
when people are in a barbershop and they see very positive things going on, there's a tendency to want to help. My tendency to help and give to those individuals. And you talk to so many different people coming in. You don't know it, but you're cutting millionaires' hairs. Excuse me, guys who are millionaire. From the guy who has a little bit, the kids, everybody. And people make these impressions, or you leave them with the impression, and sometimes they just want to drop something on you. You never know. And it's one of the great benefits, I think, is to see a kid come in at 6 years old and then to see him, because all you guys are going to have long careers, see him again at 15, 16, 18, and see that success. That's beauty. That's more valuable than anything.
And I'm starting to see that now because I'm in year 4. So the kids are, going from 5 to 9 to 10, that's a big jump. So I'm seeing these kids grow. I'm like, dang, that kid, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I remember that kid was kicking and screaming and spitting. Now he's sitting there, asking me how my day was.
Well, one of the biggest things that I've used as far as barbering and to maintain my integrity with professional image and everything else is my network. And you mentioned network, but I think your network increases your net worth.
Always.
So the more you keep that intact with your professional image and your attitude in check, you're going to continuously keep building your network.
And I think there's something else. People come in with all kind of situations, and I'm going to add something a little different. You're all here because you're building a great career, but guess what? You're going to become investors as well, because at least that would be my hope for you. And sometimes somebody's going to drop a nugget on you, so and so selling a house down here, and by the way, you can get it for a discount if you can go in and do that. But those kinds of things won't come to you unless you have a very positive image that you're putting out there.
Of course. And then the next step is the professional image. You start visualizing it. So as you're visualizing it, you start seeing success where you have some momentum being built, because part of being successful is the precursor of professional image. So when you start with that, you can give yourself opportunity to have a longer career, because people will remember you as Nick. Someone is always smiling. Someone's always wanting to give his all. Was always polite to my kids. Was always polite to my wife. Was always polite to
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother. Was always polite.
Mhm.
So those things will take you a long way, and then you start having a reputation to build up on that you don't have to be around to defend yourself.
And that's the link to, and the link to, like, I think about like great NFL quarterbacks. Like, they're not really great unless they make a long run. Like, you think about some good quarterbacks that were good for a little while, but Tom Brady's considered the greatest quarterback because he had the best and longest run. So it's about the longevity of it. So that's why you keep your reputation. Every day you come with a positive attitude. Every day you come looking sharp. And over that time, when you look back and so many years of people, you build that ultimate level of respect with people because they know what they expect from you.
And I'll stay on that analogy. What people like Tom Brady do is they invest in their teammates, and you gentlemen are investing in people in the community,
Yeah.
and that's going to come back to you tenfold. It'll come back to you in money. It'll come back to you in just feeling. It'll come back to you in terms of support for your family and a number of things.
You're right.
So as we're talking about professional image, one key thing is, what does success look like?
I was thinking that question. But it has to
Great
be your
minds
own.
think alike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It has to be your own. What is your own
Personal.
perception of
Okay,
success?
I want to go first on this. Honestly, success to me is directly correlated to the individual. Can you hear me? Good. Okay.
I think it went off, Leighton.
But yeah, success to me, because my definition of success is going to be different than your definition, because of the life I've lived personally. You know, based on what I've been through in my life, I look at myself every day in the mirror, and I tell myself I'm successful right now. There's a lot, you know what I mean, and everything else to me is like extra credit right now. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to improve on a daily basis to be a better me than I was yesterday, because I'm already successful. I done been through it and I done made it out. So
It's a bonus level for you. Everything else is
I'm
just
bonus level. It's
spring
bonus level. You know
icing
what I
on the
mean? I'm
cake.
grateful. I'm humbled. You know what I mean? I've had hard beginnings, so I'm very appreciative of what I have. I'm not envious of what I don't. If I want it that bad, I'll go out there and grind for it. I'm gonna work for it. You know what I mean?
And I'll sense that from you.
So,
And
like, I'm just very happy and motivated at where I am in life, and I consider myself to be successful. And it's all extra. I'm just building upon my current successes. You know, you
But
don't
you
have to
know,
be rich to be successful.
I'd add to that is success comes in different levels at different times in your life, and uh, I think you said it well. You build on it. It's like a stair step. You finish one, you go to another level of success, and so on, and you're able to pass that along to not only your kids and your family, but others in the community.
so, what's your perception of success? What is success to you?
Wow.
How would you view a person or even yourself as being successful?
Well, right now I'm at a stage of life where I'm what people commonly call a senior citizen. So my level of success is being able to help my children grow and be the best individuals that they can be, as well as my grandchildren. You know, money's not everything. I mean, you get to that point where, and hopefully, and all you gentlemen, by the way, are going to be. You're going to have plenty of money. You're going to be able to live well. And you, as I talked about, stair steps. So I guess my answer to you would be just helping others and seeing. And maybe Craig is the best example of that. I spend a lot of time with him. I say a lot of time. I enjoy spending time with Craig and
Likewise.
sharing. And I have some other individuals I do that, younger, much younger. So that's my
So
view
your
of
level of
success.
success, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, is by trying to be a blessing to everybody around you, and especially to your family. That would be accurate. And
Absolutely,
correct.
I gotta be. Why did God give me this? Put me here? Do that? Why? You know, so I can eat 2 more hamburgers.
I was gonna touch on that. No, like you said, success is different for everybody. For
Yeah.
me, family, to have my family intact and in order, that
Hmm.
is dysfunctional. I don't even know what to call it, but just to have my family with me, just to have my family with me, my kids,
Hmm.
be able to go cut hair and
Oh
make
yeah.
investments and just live a peaceful, happy life with the kids. That would be successful for me.
Mhm.
Big house, big all that rapper entertainment. People caught up in the wrong aspect of life when it's really a simple life. You understand?
So you like
Bill,
Nick right now? You just putting icing on the cake. You just adding on to what you got already.
well,
Yeah. Basically, I'm my own trials and tribulations for at the end of the day to be alive every day is successful
Amen.
for me.
Make it to the next
You know what
day.
I'm saying? I don't know about everybody else.
but Billy, I heard you. I heard you use a key word there. I'm gonna add to it. Yeah, peace of mind. If you can see your kids doing well and so on, and have peace of mind that they've got a good future in front of them.
Unfortunately, for me, it took 23 and 1 to get peace of mind.
Guess what? That's all
And,
right.
and that's away from everybody. So, you know, I don't know how everybody else gets their peace of mind works for them. That worked for me to have a better understanding of the
Hmm.
man I am
Hmm.
and who I want to be and who I want to be around.
Hmm.
Well, to be successful and to exemplify professional image, there's a psychology to that. There's a psychology to it that's been around forever, and everyone's trying to reinvent the wheel and try and do it different. Everything that we're saying right now is part of that. Building esteem, visualizing success.
So what is your perception of success,
Uh,
Craig Charles?
I mean, success to me, it was never determined on a dollar figure. It was never monetary. Success to me is, for me, is helping people. Success to me is giving more than receiving. Success to me is investing in your community. Success to me is investing in your family, your friends. Um, so I mean, it was never nothing monetary. And when I first came into this barbering industry, I wasn't cutting hair for money. I was cutting hair because it was a joy, something that came upon me that was a passion that I loved to do. Just watching a canvas, my hand create a canvas, and every 30 minutes it disappears out the door to serve someone else. That was success for me. That was happiness for me.
I'm going to lift that up because the first time I went to Crown Cuts and I was in that atmosphere with Craig, the one thing that I had a sense of that he truly enjoyed what he did and there was joy in it. And it showed. And that made me want to come back because I've been to people where, it's drudgery, what have you. But and Craig seems to, I'm not throwing all this on him, Craig, because I know all of you are bringing in your own way joy to people's lives. And but the key point being, you thoroughly enjoy what you're doing, the profession you're in.
Right. I mean, because that helps. It helps with longevity. It gives you some longevity in this industry when you approach it like that, because the income is going to come,
Of course.
and your network is going to increase if you do it right. And as your network increases, you keep adding different layers to you. That's where you start branching out and things start happening. Where you, like you said, Norman, where someone might throw a bone at you and say, "Hey, I have this house for sale. Oh, I have this car for sale. How are you looking for a car? You know what? I have an extra one. I don't need it. You probably get it for half the price that it's worth."
Hmm.
So all those things, when you exemplify and come up with a good positive attitude, those things come back to you.
Another thing, it's different cultures, and especially in this area, it's very diverse. So in the school, you learn to cut different textures of hair, whereas if you was in one community, you'd be set on this
Hmm.
kind of hair or that kind of hair. Right here is all different kinds for it's really no excuse unless you're scared to learn how to cut hair or interact with the different culture that you won't prosper.
I mean, great point. I'm gonna throw something another one at you guys. What do you think about affirmation for yourself as far as like professional image or being successful? Do you think that's an important part of building your network?
I think for sure. I think my dad did this class one time, and what they taught him to do was they made you stick your arms straight out, parallel, and you would start off, you say, I am weak 10 times. And you say, I am weak. And then start to come up 10 times and take two fingers and would lay your arm down with two fingers. You try to give resistance, but you couldn't though, because you told your mind you were weak. He said, okay, now I want you to say, I am strong 10 times. 10 times, say, I'm strong, I'm strong. And the instructor walk up and try to force his arms down with both hands and couldn't do it because you have told yourself you were strong. So it's very important to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself who you are, what you want to be, and where you want to go with it. Because your brain is so powerful. We can't even unlock everything that's in our brain, but you're not going to unlock it if you continue to trap yourself within the boundaries of whatever it is you're trapping yourself, whether it be how you look or how much money you have or your prestige. If you trap yourself in that, then you'll never get out of it.
Be kind to yourself.
Exactly.
Be
Be,
kind to yourself.
be your best cheerleader. And that's not being cocky, that's being confident.
Right.
Well, think about it this way. Would you go to a physician or a surgeon and the guy says, I don't know, maybe I can do this, maybe I can't.
Right.
So affirmation, affirming who you are and what you do and how you do it in the best manner. That's critical for the work that you do every day. And
Hmm.
I'm certainly trying to lift it up.
What do you think, Billy?
Like I said, it's confidence. I'm saying, so at the end of the day, if I walk in the shop and you're not confident about your skill level, even if you practicing, you know what I'm saying? If you're willing to practice and you're like, yo, let me cut your hair. If they're willing to get in the chair, as long as you're willing to do it.
Do you remember that quote you used to say in school?
Nah, I haven't.
Perfect practice, perfect preparation.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance. It's
Yeah.
5 P's.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that.
No, it's just like proper prep. It speaks for itself. No, nobody's perfect, but you can prepare yourself by practicing your craft, as you would say, or whatever it is that you do in life, to the best of your knowledge and your ability to perfect that craft, schooling, or anything else, because that's what you want to master.
So the 5 P's is what again?
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
5 P's. For all listeners out there, think about that.
The gym.
And if you have any questions, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and we'll answer you. Again, Barber College Success brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cuts Academy and Crown Cuts Bristol and JC and Craig's Crown Cuts Downtown. If you have any questions, hit us up. Shout out to our sponsor, Colossal Brand. And I want to give a shout out to my guy, Lathan, who's doing this thing every week for us.
One of the things we haven't touched on is that of personal hygiene.
Yes, that was coming. It's right here.
A lot of one would think, well, that speaks for itself. Well, yeah, but you got to have, the last thing one wants to run into someone with bad breath, of course, not a good body odor. And I think critical also is the washing of one's hands. You're in an industry where there are a lot of biological things out there that you're dealing with, people's hair and so on. But just staying on top of good cleanliness. I'll give you a little side story here. I was with Craig last week sometime, and I don't know what it was. Craig had some little fragrance on. I like that fragrance, man. I said, Dad, I like that, man. I didn't ask you what it was,
You
but
could have asked me, Norman. I'd have mentioned that.
That's a person. That's a man's cologne. Yeah,
Yeah,
you smell like me and stuff.
You notice I said
Yeah,
fragrance.
I feel you.
But
Greg took us to. Was that the same stuff you got from Boston?
Yep.
Yeah. So he put us on there. He took
Is
us
that
there.
right?
Yeah.
Well, whatever it was, I said to myself, well, I felt bad because I didn't ask him. But
You should have. People ask me all the time, and I tell them. I get it all the time. Like,
He would take you there.
I took Ami and Micah to Boston, and we went up there, went to a couple spots, and had a good time.
Yeah, it was dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Hygiene is valuable. It's major. I mean, we talked about we touched on it a little bit as far as your dental makeup.
Yeah.
But still, taking a shower, proper exercise, proper rest, all those things play a role in your professional image. Because if you're not rested, you can't exude confidence.
As a barber right now, listening to smelling his armpits.
You can be the nicest barber. I don't think I'm getting in your chair if you smell like that. Though.
I mean, but that's something we have to take. We have to take in consideration because you are in someone's personal space. They're in your personal space, and if someone deemed you unclean or not upkeeping of yourself, why would they want to come back?
And I stay with the mints too at the barbershop. I remember Micah, the last hair show. He's like, "Am I let me get a mint?" And he's like, "You stay with the mints." I keep an Altoids on me just because you never know.
I mean, it's important. What do you think, Lou?
Extremely important. Like you said, you don't want to come across somebody with body odor or anything like that. It's put offish. And then being that we are in the industry of beautification, it kind of goes hand in hand. You're not going to have, dirty hair trying to cut my hair. Like, what is that? No, that's unacceptable. So, yes, definitely on the high point of need to handle that in this profession for sure. Now, if you're a garbage man, I don't know, you might be all right.
I mean, but you
better be a clean garbage man.
Yeah,
you want to take care of yourself.
You can't help it sometimes,
But you start off clean anyway.
Start off clean, but it is what it is. If you're a garbage man, hey man, I deal with garbage all day. Okay, I understand, but hit the rain box before you come to my chair.
I'd had the custom Air Force Ones with the garbage logo on the side. I'd be fresh, yeah.
I mean, and so what are some cues that we can share with people out there to maintain a positive attitude?
Well, you touched on it earlier. It starts off with that smile, and when you come into the shop, I'm a goal setter, and I think about my day. So when you a lot of people just rush into life, rush into job, but just take a moment, center yourself, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of people. I had a job where I didn't have to deal with people right away. You know, I could go in and sit down and do my work, but r- at your very instance, you're dealing or interfacing with somebody up front, so you gotta be prepared and positive.
It's funny that you said that because every time you bring something up, Norman, I have them on my list. It seems like you just watch my list or something. You gotta use over my shoulder, Norman. I got it right here. Goal setting, and we're gonna talk about that some more. So it is important though, the goal set, because when you're setting goals, you're preparing yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing it before. You're not doing it on the fly. So as in the 5 P's, proper preparation,
Prevents poor performance, but you gotta set realistic goals.
of course.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Mm.
people get far-fetched ideas of what life is supposed to be or what they think. Because as I say, they caught up on TV, you know what I'm saying, instead of the real world and what's really going on for, step by step, one step at a time for what it is. Back to the successful thing, whether it's a daily success, a weekly success, monthly, you gotta plan it like that. And just know that as you accomplish one, you go to the next.
Yeah.
A lot of people also set many goals and try to conquer
But
one
how?
at one time.
Billy,
But
I think you said something important there. I think a lot of young people today, with the advent of social media and TV and movies and so on, they kind of look at it and say, "That's what I want,"
mhm,
but
mhm.
they don't set any goals
To
to
go
to
get it.
get there. Yeah, right, and it's critical. So,
And if they don't set goals, you're not gonna understand what it takes to even start. So, but if you set a goal, you'll understand that it's not gonna happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like be
It's,
patient.
it's a process. I'll share 4 things with you guys that will kind of push you around that same realm of setting goals, um, creating a blueprint, a path for yourself. One, be positive. Two, look around for creative inspiration.
mhm.
Three, improve your vocabulary.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm glad that was on my list too, Craig. One of the things I used to do consciously was try to learn one new word a day,
Mm,
and really incorporate it in my mind and psyche where I could use it in a sentence. Now, obviously, if you're a barber, you're not going to be using that with individuals necessarily, but it does expand your mind. So I
right.
like that.
Yeah, and surround yourself with others who share your passion.
Hmm.
What are those 4 things? I say them again. Be positive. Look around for creative inspiration. Improve your vocabulary. Surround yourself with others who share your passion.
That last one. That's the one that hits home more for me because the more I get into this, the more I love to do it. I like to be around people that love, like, not even just love doing barbering, but just love doing whatever they're doing and working hard to obtain something. Like, if you're not somebody that's actively working hard to get somewhere, whether it be physical, mental, or occupational wise, I really don't want to be around you. And it's kind of become like that. Like, I can't help it, and it's not because I dislike a person. It's just because I feel like I'm investing my if I'm around you, I'm investing my time in you. But why would I want to invest my time if somebody's not investing in something for themselves?
But which jumps into the next one, time management.
Before we go on, let me jump in.
Oh,
Let me go
go
on to
ahead.
something here. You were talking about objectives here. I want to share personal experience. I learned this a long time ago. Every year, and for whatever reason, I did it in January. I would set some personal goals and some family goals. And I have 2 or 3 little books. They're about this thick. They're little journals, and I put those goals in there. And I do things throughout the year, and I'd incorporate it in that book. I still have those books, but it was interesting to me that every goal I put in there, I was able to achieve. And what I started to do, I know this is a little off track here, but I've had family meetings where my kids had to come in and tell me for the year, what are your goals? What
Mm.
did you do last year that you feel good about? And what are you planning for the next year? So I just offer that as a real world experience.
Visualization.
Visualization. If you can't see it, you can't do it.
Yeah, and it's real simple. That's important. I think. And when I opened my first business, this is what I did too. And I explained in that moment. When I opened my first business, I kind of made a list. And every time I accomplished something, it could have been as simple as getting the business license, turn on the power.
Mhm.
Every time I accomplished something, I would scratch a line through it. It just showed progress. And every time I looked down, I was halfway through the page, and it made me feel good because I had some momentum of success, of accomplishing one thing.
I'll add to that. What you did was not only did you write it down, you internalized it.
Right.
And because you internalized it, and you actively worked toward it and you achieved it.
Yes.
So I just offer that's a, yep, I'll put it like this. It was a great model of success for me. Billy, you're going to say something new.
Those 4 things that you mentioned is, goes back to the more P's, people, places, and then things. You know what I'm saying? When you change your attitude, change the people you around, change the places you hang out with, you get different results. You know what I'm saying? I definitely have a testimony to that. You know what I'm saying? But, for my aunt preached that a lot. You got to change your surroundings, change the people you around, and it's a fact. Because if you negative and I'm positive, we're not going anywhere. If I'm going left and you going right, then we're not going to make it to the same spot. For
Here's a little analogy for you. Each of you gentlemen, each of us sitting here are eagles in our own right. You ever see an eagle eating with chickens?
that's another one my aunt used.
Well, all that refers to the next thing I was going to talk about: employing successful learning tools.
Right. Mm.
Employing successful learning tools.
Mhm.
Because when you receive it, you will retain it. Then you retain it, you can apply it.
That comes with discipline, dedication, and determination.
Right. And everything we're talking about today, the casual listener, whether you're in China, in Germany, Australia, in New York,
Madagascar.
Chicago, Madagascar, and somewhere in Africa, we have listeners all over. All these tools we're implying and teaching today on this podcast is for you to look within yourself and pick something that's going to help you.
Mhm.
Pick something that's going to help you apply it to your life to be successful in this industry. And maybe you want to go to a different industry, plumbing, um, electrician. All these principles could be used to apply to yourself to make you get successful because there's nothing too far fetched. Again, the wheel wasn't invented yesterday. The wheel was round, and I don't think it's ever going to be different.
I thought about one of the things that come to mind is I read this book called Make Your Bed by this guy. He's an admiral. Uh, he was for the Navy SEALs or whatever. And the book talks about originally when you wake up, you make your bed, and the way what they teach you, you start your day, you accomplish a task. So you start your day with an accomplished task already. First thing you do, wake up, make your bed, and then even if the day doesn't go well, feels good to come back and lay in a made bed. So you know that you have one thing that you've done to start your day that you can look back on and say, I did that and feel good about.
You're practicing ethical standards.
Yeah.
You have to be ethical in your standards too, as well, because it's the energy that we're putting out there. You have to practice some ethical standards.
And I think about that more now about the perception that I give off to people by my how I act or what I say or what I do. I think about it more because if you want to be somebody that helps somebody, you have to also be to a degree somebody that they can look up to or in at least a positive light.
I mean, for sure. I mean, in life, we look at it as two folds. There's a negative energy and there's a positive energy. Everybody wants to be on the positive side. Everybody should look to be on the positive side because it's the blueprint. Again, I keep going back on this. The formula, the blueprint, it's been there. It's been there from day one, how to be on the positive side. But it's up to you with your attitude, how you handle yourself, with your professional image, how you're going to get in this positive or on the negative side. Because we all want positive in our lives.
Mhm.
Because you know what positive gives us? Um, good friends, assets, good health, um,
Food on your table.
food on your table. All those things reside in the positive section. So it's a way to do that. As a student, as a novice, as a professional, it's still the same.
Craig, another way to look at this is it's called delivering on your promises. When you turn that sign on in the day, you're saying, "Hey, I'm open for business," and for all the things that you do from not only a professional standpoint, cutting hair, but being that positive, ethical, forthright person who's gonna make somebody else's lives better, make them look better.
Yes, sir. Um, it is. It doesn't even seem. I know we started late. It doesn't even seem like we've been on for an hour, does it?
Goes by? No.
It just
It goes by.
it just flies by. So, what do you guys think of this topic today? I just want some like real life, just interpersonal, just what do you think of this podcast? What do you get
Well,
from it?
immediately I'm going to get a new wardrobe.
I mean, but that's what we
I mean,
learned.
I mean, points taken. I mean, like I said, I hold myself to a high standard. I know I carry myself to a high standard, but I definitely want people to perceive me in that light as well. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, it has to be a 24-hour it has to be a constant, consistent thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I can't be chilling. No, but no, I mean, like I definitely I understand that, and I wanted to make a point about the positive attitude. Positive attitude, it starts completely with you, the individual. You know what I mean? It's your choice to let somebody alter your attitude, just like that dude you told to have a nice day.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Self-control is a big part of positive attitude. And if you can keep your mind focused on what is necessary to accomplish those goals and those steps that need to be,
Because a lot of
everything's gonna
time
be
it's
all right.
important. A lot of times from the inside out, you don't know certain things. And a lot of times from the inside out, you think you have it all the boxes checked, everything checked. And it takes someone at times to come and say, hey, you know what? Try it this way. But a lot of times people are afraid to give those feedback because not knowing how you're going to receive it.
Mhm.
If you're not receiving something as a tool to learn, you can't grow. You have to be able to take feedback and take some responsibility for your actions and try to switch it in and make some changes, do something different. Because you have to ask, everyone needs to know their why are you doing things? Why are you doing this? What is your reason for this being in this industry? What is the reason for you being in your industry? When you understand your why, you'll be able to take off and you'll be able to do it differently and do it to your best of your ability. Because until you figure out what your why is, you don't know what you're doing it for. Are you doing it for your parents? Are you doing it for your wife? Are you doing it for your girlfriend? What is your why? Because when you understand that and you understand that you're doing something to be on the positive, not the negative, you will go the extra mile. You will think of it like, you know what? Maybe I need to change my wardrobe. Maybe I need to do something different because you're thinking that you was doing it one way for the long time and it was right. But we all can be corrected. We all need advice.
You know, uh, at a little laugh, don't matter what you got on. You know, this goes back to improving your vocabulary. You know what I'm saying? It's all fun and games to be, you know, looked upon and all that, but even in that hoodie, even in the dinges, if you could talk and uh, articulate, you'd be all right no matter what you got on for, you know. So that comes back to the confidence. If that dude jump out the Maybach and you got something you want to talk to him about, you know, sweatpants, shirt and tie really ain't gonna matter to me per se. If I got something to say to somebody, I'm gonna doesn't matter because I could talk with the best of them. And you know, so you just can't
And
be afraid.
likewise, I feel the same way. But what I'm saying is without the conversation, I want people to look at
Yeah,
me.
definitely.
What I want, you know what I mean? I want to exude that confidence in another way where they're looking at me and saying, "Hey, why is he dressed up like that? What does he do?" And that's going to open up a door. Hey, what do you do, man? I cut hair. I'd like to cut your hair too.
It's
Let's
fun.
make an appointment.
It's
You
fun.
know what I
It's
mean?
funny now
So-
because a lot of my students, when they see me outside the school without a tie on, I look so different to them. I look like I'm from Mars, and a lot of them come with their comments. Man, Craig, you don't look right without a tie. You don't look right without some slacks or
Right.
a dress shirt, and that makes me feel good because I understand that the image and the picture that I'm portraying is yeah, and it's just so odd to them a lot of times. And I remember one day I couldn't find. I came to school because the tie I wanted to wear with my shirt, it just didn't match. So I came to school without a tie, and a couple students were like, "Craig, where's your tie?" And that held me accountable though. Even though I was dressed properly, I was nice. They're like, "Where's your tie?" And I took that feedback as like, you know what? I have to always wear my tie.
That's
I mean, and I could come in without a tie and make it look really nice, but that's what they're accustomed to. That's the respect and the confidence and everything that I push out. They know when I come in, oh, that's the owner. He's in charge. He's coming. He means business. So from a distance, you're looking at me you're like, okay, and that's what you're trying to say, Lou. So when someone look at you at a distance, they know, okay, Lou means business. We don't have to come up to him and have a conversation to figure out he means business. If I speak to him in his face, or if I see him from a distance, he means business.
Talk to me, we're gonna be able to articulate.
Right.
That's the word of the day. I'm on the flip side of that. 'Cause I'm on the same side, but Craig asked me to wear a tie to school when I go to school, which that's not my everyday attire. But people that come and they're all the time asking me if I'm the owner, and I tell them no, I'm not the owner. But they're like, "You own this? Are you the owner of this place?" Or people ask if I'm the owner. I'm like, "Nah."
well, I think it's important. What you're really talking about is your brand.
Yes.
And Craig and I have talked about this a lot. You got to polish your brand every day, 24/7. And like it or not, the world's going to react to you in a certain way based on how you dress.
Yes.
But you got to consciously say to yourself, what's my brand? How am I going to be? Craig, you told us what your brand is, so you got to adhere to it. But anyway,
Right. What is your why?
yeah,
One thing Craig incorporated in school every Saturday was just for success day for, definitely once again proper preparation prevents poor performance for you gotta get comfortable in your skin and different wear and know that's you. Once you find your you'll understand your why and you'll prosper.
And especially when you start. When you
Mhm.
start and you have a responsibility.
Definitely.
When
Mhm.
you start and you have a responsibility to because after a while, what separates us from this industry? Everyone's haircut fade is pretty much going to be the same after a while. You do it long enough, your repetition, you're going to be able to do a decent haircut. But then there's 15 million people doing a decent haircut. So what separates you?
Mhm.
And across the board, across the country, you hear it all the time. Customer service is on its all-time low.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
So if that's something that's across the board, you could change that one image at a time.
And once again, you'll never know who's watching. You could be fresh cutting hair, the little kid come in and like how you dress. And one dress like that the rest of his life. So you have a major impact on the visual you give off as well.
I'll share the story. One time I was in the school and this little kid, he was getting his hair cut. And I was doing my customary walking around the school, just saying hello to everyone. And I walked by the little kid. He must have been like 7 years old. And this was last year. And he said to the barber, and he didn't think I heard him. He said, every time I see Craig, he's always dressed in a suit. And I was like, I'm doing my job. Because if I leave that impression on that little kid who was 7 years old, I'm doing my job. Without even saying nothing to him. He's like, every time I see Craig, he said in a low tone, and he dropped his head and talking to the bar because I could see him in the mirror. Every time I see Craig, he's in a suit. I'm just in a tie, but his perception of a suit is a tie and a dress shirt.
I want to add to that. Something has changed, at least in my generation. When I was coming up, having a good quality pair of shoes that were shined, had a high gloss on them,
Yes.
that spoke volumes. I know you know what I'm talking about, Billy. Um, and today, I'm all for the comfort shoes, etc. But your shoes should have that same kind of presentation. They should be very attractive, should be clean, etc., and presentable. I didn't want to let that go. We'll
Oh no,
come
that's
back to the
that's
topic.
valuable. That is valuable.
I'm a shoe guy. I like shoes. I like shoes.
Okay.
First thing, if I look at somebody, honestly, I'm looking at their shoes. You got to fit from Goodwill, but the shoes, they got. That's just how I am. I ain't gonna lie.
before I forget, I want to throw in a little bone real quick. We will be in Nashville, continuing our tour of mental health for young boys of color and African American men. The tour will be in Nashville on December 27th. We'll be at Hunts Barber College. If you're a barber in the area, come by. We're gonna have some good stories. We're gonna have a good training. We're gonna train barbers in mental health. Mental health is so important and it's endeared to me. And myself, my co-host, and Mr. Billy, he'll be down in the Nashville area. Come check us out along with Micah. So we're gonna have a good show for you guys. Come out there and get trained, get learned, and how to be an advocate, how to support your community. It's real important. Mental health is one of the leading cause of death, second leading cause of death between the ages of 13 to 45. So come out there and support it and let us know. If you have any questions, again, you want to get some insights, some information about that, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, send a message to me. And if you have a question while we're doing the show, hit us up. We'll answer your question as quick as possible. And again, shout out to Feed Spot for the top 25 ranking in the world and top 25 in the United States. Back to the topic. Norman, before I interrupted, what
No,
was you going to
no,
say?
no, no. I was just going to say you had posed a question to all of us about what we got out of today's session.
Yes.
So my comment to all you gentlemen, brothers, this was a blessing for me because I'm sitting among professionals. You're at different stages in your life, and you caused me to think about some things that I haven't been thinking about. And anybody who's got 7 kids raising them, hey man, praises. So just good to be here. Very positive energy, and I endorse what you're doing, how you're doing, and recommend it everybody in this industry listen to your podcast.
Yes, sir. Emma, what you think of today's podcast?
This podcast,
Yeah.
this is awesome. It's a blessing. I got to chop it with everybody, meet everybody, and just talk to everybody with different perspectives.
I look forward to coming to the podcast.
I enjoy it's not work. It's just it's awesome.
It's like sitting in the living room having a conversation, just like, hey, sharing your thoughts
with microphones.
Yes, because I mean, there's a lot of people out there who don't have a blueprint to life, and hopefully, this podcast can help you form some type of formula, a blueprint, get your roadmap to your life, to your career, and have put you in the right direction.
It's unfortunate to think about, though, but that's true. I mean, there's some people just don't have any way to go, and then maybe maybe just in a career, occupational wise, we can just lead you to something that will help you start a foundation for your life, and all the people out there listening, Madagascar, some dude in Madagascar right now stepping it up.
In China. I love seeing the messages and the questions that we get from around the country and around the world. And shout out to Brielle for coming from Texas that day. She drove up after she heard the podcast. She drove 17 hours by herself, this girl. I'm like, Brielle, what are you doing? She's like, I wanted to meet you.
that says a lot, man.
Yeah.
I'll add to that. Having been in China and seeing some professional men, I want to tell you, they put American men to shame with their dress and their coif and so on and so forth. Same with gentlemen in Brazil. So yeah, a lot to be learned. And there are nuggets. You were talking about learning things. It's not that every podcast has is going to have the same impact on every individual, but there are going to be 1 or 2 nuggets in everything that comes out that people can build on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As in all good things, every good thing has to come to an end. And so, how are we going to end? We're going to let you say your last words.
Once again, my name is Nicholas Liu. I go by Exclusive Cuts. You can follow me on Instagram. Thank you, Mr. Craig, for the opportunity. These guys are very, 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 very important to me. MI is a very big influence. He helps me out so much. Just being in the shop with me and guiding me through a lot of things.
In school,
In school, of course. Yeah.
You said the shop.
It is the shop. You can call it what you want to. I'm in there doing perms. It's a shop.
Speaking into existence.
But it is a school. It is a school. It is where I'm learning my thing. And like I said, he's definitely one of my most influential teachers. I look up to them. I hate
you.
that I only see them one day a week. So it was an honor to be here with you as well.
Everybody didn't realize how he's going to impact people in the school, because everybody just realistically just wanted to be a barber, and I feel bad that I done pulled him in so many different ways. Got twisted his arm, pulled his leg, pulled his string.
Don't ever have to feel bad. I enjoy it. I get bored. If I wouldn't, I'd be bored.
Like I said, I definitely look up to you in a lot of ways. You don't realize it, but I do.
I appreciate it. And the same for you, man. The hard work, your hard work and your spirit. You know, you always are positive energy. You come and looking sharp. You let anybody cut your hair.
Today,
super
though.
supportive. Why you say so? The champion hoodie goes hard.
I'm being rough on myself. I just feel like I'm, you know what I mean? But I normally am sharp. But also, I want to thank you again, Craig. Like I said, I mean, it's the opportunity that you presented so that I can, you know, really learn what Barber College success is, because I'm living it right now. I'm every day, 24/7. I'm polishing my brand. I'm grinding. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to attack this industry from both ends at every angle, and I want to learn from everybody. I want to learn from anything that can be learned. I want to take it.
That's the way you do it. Yes, sir.
So thank you, guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Love your passion, Nicholas.
Once again, it's Billy. You know, I just want to thank this man right here, Craig, because through the barbershop, built a friendship, a brotherhood, somebody I could call on when I really need to, if I need to, coming from a community where we don't support each other enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed to be here on this podcast, to be alive with the opportunities that I was given, that Craig invested in me, because he's seen the light in me and wants better for me and a lot of other people in the community too. So, you know, once again, thank you, brother.
And you're welcome,
From
man.
the bottom, nah.
Bring it back.
I don't think nobody understands. I was given the opportunity. I didn't have to pay for school, through the Voc Rehab, through this man, for make a better opportunity, not only for myself, but for my kids, and open up other doors in life. Craig, my man, thank you, brother. You already know.
Yes, sir.
Where we go from here, but I'm going to tell y'all to tell the camera. That man means a lot to me, personally. And I'm going to take my hat off. I can't let you see the boy hat, but thank you, brother. Thank you.
Hey, Craig, I'm going to close. This is Norman again. I'm just going to say I'm blessed by the fellowship and the acquaintances, and hopefully adding some new friends to my portfolio.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, they had a great podcast. What do you think, Mr. M, my co-host?
Awesome podcast. It was awesome. It was a very enjoyable podcast. And I just want to say thank you, Craig.
There you go.
Thank you, Craig. Seriously, thank you.
How we gonna do the podcast next week? We'll be in Nashville.
Somebody doing the podcast now. We're gonna do it. We're gonna send it in. We record it and send it later.
Do it from Zoom. We're gonna zoom it in.
We'll figure something out.
Oh man, we might have to do that.
We can just
again. Barber College success. Closing on out. Spreading love the JC way. The only way we know how to do it is the Crown Cuts way. Come check us out. Come check us out. We're enrolling students first week of the month. First Tuesday, come check us out. The third week in Bristol. The first week in Johnson City. 423-461-0004. Looking to change your career. Looking to meet some good friends. Looking to increase your network, which will increase your net worth. Come check us out. Crown Cuts Academy. Women, men, the youngest graduate was 18, the oldest was 63. Come check us out.